Nebraska Cornhuskers Hot Board 1.0. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. Let's get right into it. We know yesterday that Trev Alberts fired Scott Frost, and he's looking for a new head football coach for that historic football program. We got our hot board up here in the chalkboard. By the way, we still need a name for this chalkboard for Peek Around the Corner. Please leave in the comment section below the video. And please hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel as we march towards 1,000 subscribers. And please share the video. Thanks you so much. It helps us with the algorithm of YouTube. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get right into what Pete Thamel said about the names that you should be looking for as the new head football coach of Nebraska. Now, Pete Thamel, when he says something about potential new coaches for a vacant head coaching spot somewhere in college football, you have to take it seriously. Pete Thamel of ESPN has the Rolodex for all the agents that represent these big names in college football. Trust me on this, or don't trust me on this, that's fine. But when Pete Thamel throws out a name, take it seriously. Let's go through the names here. Names for Nebraska: Matt Campbell, Iowa State; Mark Stoops, head coach, Kentucky; Dave Aranda, Baylor; Bill O'Brien, offensive coordinator of Alabama; Lance Leipold, head coach at Kansas; Jim Leonard, a defensive coordinator, Wisconsin Badgers; PJ Fleck, head football coach of the Golden Gophers; Chris Klieman, the head coach of Kansas State; Dave Doran, the head coach of North Carolina State; Sam Pittman, Arkansas. And the rest of the names here, we don't take them all that seriously. We don't have them in consideration. Bielema, we believe, is solid Illinois. He's going to be there for a long time. Bielema's name is going to show up in a lot of hot boards in the Midwest for the next few years. But we think he's a long-term guy at his alma mater, Illinois. Jamie Chadwell, we believe he's going to stay in the South. His family wants him to stay in the South. He'll probably move on from Coastal Carolina, but probably at some point, but somewhere down the South. So, of those names, okay, so Mark Stoops, Sam Pittman, again, we have spoken in the previous episode when the last episode when we talked about the Scott Frost firing. We do not think an SEC coach is going to move to the Big Ten to be a head coach of the Big Ten when they're being successful in the SEC. Historically, that doesn't happen. So we're taking Mark Stoops. We're not having Mark Stoops on our hot board list. Our hot board list here at Peek Around the Corner is not going to be a long list of names. We're never going to do that. Once you provide a long list of names, all that information, well, it's really no information at all, to be honest with you. So we keep it short. Mark Stoops, we're not going to have him on the Peek Around the Corner hot board for the Cornhuskers. Neither was Sam Pittman. Don't think they'll be interested. Jim Leonard, the defensive coordinator of Wisconsin Badgers, we do not think Trev Alberts is going to go in the direction of getting a coordinator. Jim Leonard could be one heck of a head football coach in the Power 5 conference, but he's going to have to go somewhere and become a head football coach before he would get a job like Nebraska. That's what we believe. Trev Alberts is not going to be rolling the dice here. He's got the money. He's got the resources. He needs to hit a home run. Jim Leonard would be too much of a wild card play. Jim Leonard's going to get his opportunity. If he wants to take it, he's going to get his opportunity. He's going to become a head football coach of at least a G5 or a Power 5 team, but it's not going to be Nebraska. That's our belief. PJ Fleck, we don't think Nebraska is the right spot for PJ Fleck. Dave Aranda. We believe, we've been told this last couple of years, Dave Aranda, his wife, they love it in Waco, Texas. They have a big ties in that community already. It fits their culture. Dave Aranda loves where he's at. Do not think he's going to be, he'd be a great, now Nebraska would love to get him. I think he'd be on Trev Alberts' top of his list, but we don't think Dave Aranda will be interested. That's our take on it. Please leave your comments in the comment section below the video on why you disagree with me so much, or what you agree with us on our hot board. We don't believe Dave Aranda will be interested. No slight against Nebraska, but I think Dave Aranda loves being where he's at. So, let's go to our hot board. Our hot board here on the chalkboard behind us. As you can see, we've got Matt Campbell, number 1, Bill O'Brien, number 2, Chris Klieman, number 3. I think a couple of things are consistent with all these 3 names from our take. We believe all 3 of these individuals will be interested in the Nebraska Cornhusker job. Like if they get targeted by Trav Alberts, all 3 of them would pursue this with gusto. Now, the name on there that I think a certain fan base will have problems with is Chris Klieman. Kansas State fan base will probably say, no, he would never go to Nebraska. Oh, I think he would. I definitely think he would. Chris Klieman, no slight against Kansas State, but Nebraska has the resources. They have the exposure. Chris Klieman won at North Dakota State, won national championships. I think he would be very interested in being the head coach at Lincoln, Nebraska. Bill O'Brien is looking for a Power 5, a big spot, head coaching spot. He's going to do what Sarkisian did. He's going to launch himself once again after being the offensive coordinator at Alabama. I think Bill O'Brien would lurch for the job to become head coach for Nebraska. And we believe Matt Campbell will be very interested. In fact, there was a report here from Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports. I'm going to read you a little excerpt. Matt Campbell, Iowa State. Several sources have told CBS Sports that Campbell is interested in Nebraska. It's certainly more highly resourced than Iowa State, especially with the Big 12 moving down in the pecking order with the forthcoming departures of Texas and Oklahoma. But Campbell has to get to a certain level this season to be in the mix. That means 6-6 or even 7-5 might not be good enough for Nebraska, which absolutely has to hit a home run this time around. Campbell, 10-7 in his last 17 games, may have simply hit a ceiling at Iowa State. Prior to this development, insiders were saying Campbell was interested in only 2 jobs, Ohio State and Notre Dame, but both are filled at the moment. Yeah, I think Matt Campbell, and this report also says it, will be very interested if Trav Alberts gives that agent a call, his agent a call and says, yes, we want to pursue the potential hiring of your client, Matt Campbell. So these 3 names, I think, would be all interested in the job. And these 3 names, I think Trav Alberts would be interested in hiring them or having them go through the process. First of all, Matt Campbell has been a very successful head coach of Iowa State. Incredibly successful. I read comments from time to time, people say Matt Campbell hasn't done enough for Iowa State. He's done more than anybody else has in the history of the Iowa State Cyclones football program in Ames, Iowa. What he has done has been nothing short but miraculous. They have won. He has won at Iowa State. Yeah, he's gone 10-7 his last 17 games. Last year was a disappointment. But overall, how he has built the Iowa State program, how he's conducted himself as the head coach of Iowa State. He's professional. Trav Alberts is looking for somebody with maturity. After the Scott Frost years, after the loosey-goosey way of Scott Frost and those press conferences and how Scott Frost communicated, Trav Alberts wants to go the opposite way. He wants to get someone with maturity, with experience in a Power 5 head coaching position. I think Trav Alberts is going to be very, very interested in Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell has gone into the recruiting wars with Wisconsin, with Iowa, with Nebraska, with Minnesota, with Notre Dame. He's been in those wars and he's won some of them. He's won some of them at Iowa State. And as Dennis Dodd stated here, I mean, Sorry, no slight against Iowa State, but the pecking order is going to change here. Iowa State's going to drop even a few slots down because of the resources. We've talked about this in the new world of college football, where Big Ten is going to be giving direct compensation to the student athletes, to the football players. There's going to be some more separation, I believe, between the Big Ten universities and the Big 12 universities and how much they can give these student athletes, these football players. I think Matt Campbell would be at the top of this. I think he's going to be at the top of this list in Hot Board 2.0, 3.0. If not number one, he's going to be at 2 or 3 throughout this whole process. I really, truly believe that. Matt Campbell. Bill O'Brien, again, he was a head football coach of a Big Ten school, Penn State. That place was a disaster when Bill O'Brien, a travesty happened at Penn State. Scandal. Bill O'Brien did a miraculous job as the head coach of Penn State. Fantastic job. He knows what it takes to be a head coach in the Big Ten. Scott Frost, as we mentioned yesterday, the first day as head coach of Nebraska, he said, we're going to make the Big Ten adjust to us. We're not adjusting to the Big Ten. I mean, it was just an outrageous statement. You could tell right away Scott Frost wasn't ready to be a head football coach in the Big Ten. Bill O'Brien knows what it's like. He's been in the wars. He knows what it's like to be a head coach in the Big Ten. Bill O'Brien, I think Trev Alberts would have a whole lot of interest in that guy. And again, as we said previously, we believe all these names would have interested in Nebraska. And then Chris Klieman, we believe Trev Alberts would be interested in that guy. We know Trev Alberts talked about in his press conference how he wants a violent, physical team at Nebraska. Well, that's Chris Klieman at Kansas State. That's Chris Klieman at North Dakota State. I mean, this guy has proven success over and over again at places that do not have the resources like Nebraska, like they do at Lincoln, Nebraska. So we think of all the names that Pete Thamel listed, and we think you should take that list seriously. We, for right now, have sort of pushed away some of those names on that list, but we think you should take everything that Pete Thamel says seriously when it comes to coaching searches. Those are our top 3 in the Cornhuskers 1.0 hot board. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think Trev Alberts should go after. And please leave your comments in the section below the video. I read all of them. I thank you so much. And again, from all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, until next time, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.